Right, I know I said yesterday we were at 10 hours, but sorry, 10.5 hours, but I'm going to say 10 hours because I had Jonathan round here as well. Spent a bit of time with him and had a break as well. Had a few cuppers and that. So it's about 10 hours graft. Today we are coming up 11:05, and I'm going to start pressure washing these before I do anything else. I want to get all this wax off because also the panels are covered in release agent as well, straight out the moulds, so I want to get that off before I start doing any sanding. So on the edges and stuff where I need to sand it, like you'll see here, I need to sand that edge and get that lip off, but if I sand it, I'll be sanding wax into the panel, if you know what I mean, so I just want to get it all off first. So I've got my little rucksack sized pressure washer, you know when you wish you bought a bigger pressure washer. It's a bit gutless, but it does the job. And then I'm going to get some washing up liquid and give them a scrub over with. Look at that, what a lovely day. Give them a scrub over with washing up liquid and a bit of red Scotch-Brite. Well, I think I could piss harder than that pressure washer. That's everything scrubbed up, coming up 2:20. Took a while. Still a bunch of wax on it and stuff, the yellow stuff. I'm just going to have to scrape it out. You can only work with what you've got, so I'll have to scrape the rest of it out. Just a lot of it will come off with the sanding anyway, but I've got the main surfaces cleaned anyway, and a lot of the wax off, but there's still some on there, so it took a little while, but definitely worth doing because you just don't know what's on there. As if I came to like sand all that and and then prime it and get a reaction, then it would be a bit of a nightmare. So that's all the parts done anyway. I've just finished the clam now, so I'm just going to have a brew. Right, just want to introduce you to a couple of friends. This is Mr. Tech Screw. He's your friend. And where's Mr. Clico? That's a Clico. It's like a spring-loaded rivet. I'll show you. So I've got the door panel sitting in there. I did tape it into position. You're lining it up along this top edge here. Got another one there. And that's the tool for... So as that pushes in, it's hard to get a focus on it, there you go. See, like that. So you push it in, and then as you pull it out, it widens. So you drill I think it's a 2mm hole, and then you can click them in and out. So it just saves you, screwing something on or taping something on, and just means you can like put stuff on and take stuff off quite quickly. Only really use them on the body, or I'm maybe gonna put a couple in here as well, in the top of the roof. But right, so I'm just on with lining things up. So I still need the brackets to get the clam on, just to make sure that I've got like the distance out from the door correct. But while I'm on with that, while I'm waiting for that, I'm just getting the side skirt fitting up better. So it was sat a bit high before. Now you see there, I don't have any door gap, but this is now almost lined up. It's at the right height, just needs to come down a fraction, but I also need to move it back a fraction. They tend to be really tight at the front. Now this is where you'll use Mr. Tech Screw. So they do, so you can see there I've got a much bigger gap at the front than the back. So I need to move that whole side skirt back a bit, but they do tend to be a little bit tight in here. So what I'm probably going to do is loosen a bit of pressure up in there, put some cuts in there so that it'll bend and push back. I'm going to have a look, see what I can clean out in behind it as well. There might be some like lumps in the fiberglass or something that's holding it forward, but they do tend to have quite a lot of pressure in this area. For say if I put a slit in there, it'll be able to move back a lot easier, and then once it's moved back, just fiberglass that back up on once everything's in the right position. But might have to do a bit of stress relief in that corner to get it to go back a little bit. Still not fixed at the bottom or anything, and you'll see how to do that in later in the video. But that's what I'm on with at the minute. Obviously everything's washed up, and it feels a lot better, like, because it was really slippy, you know, like polished surface sort of thing. But feels a lot better now that I've washed it. So there's a couple of things that keep this tight at the front, too tight. That bung needs to come out. I forgot to take that out. It's not massive, but it you know, pushes on that way, and you can see where it's contacting there. Now the kit has a little bit of a dip there because of where the bung was when it was made, so it's like a double whammy. So I'm going to clean that off in the back there. I'll take the bung out, and I'm just going to tidy up any bits that are sticking out here, make sure it's, you know, flat, so there's nothing holding it back. I'll keep from cutting that until, you know, down there until the last minute. What else am I going to do? I'm going to take off this lip here because I'd only trimmed it off, but that actually needs to come pretty much right the way off so that the door can close inside. So when the door card's on, it catches that if you've still got a lip there. So I'm going to take that off, clean that off, take the bung out, and then on the back of the door skin here, I'm going to prep this bottom edge because that's where the angle goes in. I could put a bit of angle to create the return, you'll see. But I'm also going to skim over it and get rid of any little spiky bits, just that we don't want it holding it up. There's a couple of little bits in there, so it just helps it sit right down. So I'll do that as well. I'm going to use that little beastie for that, just like a little DA sander.
So I've took that right off there. Made a little hole, but we can fill that from the other. Just put a bit of tiger seal in there.
Right, so I've got those parts cleaned up and the bung took out. What did it miss there? Oh, you can't see, but there's a lip in the side skirt. That lip there sits on top of the lip that's underneath the door. Put Mr. Tech screw back in as well, if I can find his hole. Probably won't be able to. There we go. Don't need to tighten it up, it's just to position it. Door card. And Clicos. Until I get this door fitted right, door panel, it is difficult. So I'm kind of waiting on these hinges and the back bracket and the front bracket to be able to do all of that. But anyway, it's a bit closer. I think maybe it's I'm as well just switching to doing my edges and stuff and start doing a bit of sanding, because I'm just kind of doing stuff but forwards and backwards. You can see that the gap there now is a lot better. That's with taking the bung out and grinding off on the back, so I can see that I've got that there. Needs to come down quite a bit, which is weird because it was there before, but down and out really. That wants to come down as well. Now that door probably won't open because it's going to catch on that. Okay. Right, I'm going to switch to doing edges. So this is the sort of thing we're dealing with. Some are big, some are small. Now you can probably see, or rather you probably can't see, what I'm on about the lighting in the main garage. It's really quite dark, even though the lights are on. Some tidying up in here to do. Around here, double lip there. That needs a little bit of filler in it. Bit of extra light on the job. So I've got a bit of 80 grit. I'm not going crazy with it, but 80 grit on a curved block. I'm just rolling over that edge. you could use 180. It'll just take a bit longer. I like to use 80 because we're going to be getting in there and putting a bit of filler in there as well in the low bits. So it helps to give a good key for the 80 for the filler. It's a soft curved block that I'm using. So even if you just take the, you know, the worst of it off with the 80 and then switch to 180, but you'd probably be rubbing the filler with 80 anyway, so you got to be careful not to go too far. You know, we're bringing down the low bits, sorry, the high bits to meet the low bits, but you got to kind of keep an eye on it because you don't want to be chasing it too low, you know, because the low bits need filled, so you don't want to try and take all of the high bits right down to the low bits. Some of them need filled. You don't always need to be on a block either, you can be freehanding it. So that's a bit of 180 and it's taking it off fine. And so at this stage you're going to sort out any rough edges as well. You know, your cut edges. If you've not sanded before, you'll soon get the hang of it. It's not rocket science. Spin you around. Right, there you go. If it will focus. I know you're in shadow a bit there, but maybe a little bit more on there. A little pinhole there as well. That's basically all you're doing, and then just chasing your low bits with a little bit of filler. And sorting out these edges, see like that bit's sticking out there, so I'll round that off. You see there I've moved my hole. You need to do that, you need to like elongate the holes a little bit so you can move these things about. They don't go on perfectly first time, and you've got to fiddle it about till you get it right. So you've got to create a little bit of playroom. That's coming up 5:15. That's me for the day. Sunday I'm going to go home for my dinner. I've got the edges started, looking a lot better. So I'll get back onto them tomorrow. It's difficult, to be honest with you, with using a flood lamp like that. It's too much directional light. Like I say, that's why I'm getting the lights in the garage upgraded. You can see down there is fitted one of them, and it's so much brighter. These are just like energy saver bulbs, you know, so yeah, so it's got some of the strip lights fitted up there, all LEDs, so just having those all the way down be a lot better, because having the directional light, it just creates shadows and bright spots. It's difficult. It'll be better tomorrow when it's daylight. I'll just continue on with all these edges until Jonathan's got the brackets done. There's plenty of it to do. So what's that? Knocking on for 6 hours. I've probably had about an hour's break with people turning up and messing on with Jonathan and brackets and stuff like that. So we'll call it 5 hours today. I've got everything scrubbed down and washed and semi-scotch brighted. It'll need a lot more scotch brighting, but it's got all the stuff off it anyway, so yeah, back tomorrow. Right, it's 3 o'clock. I've been here since 10, so I haven't been filming. I've just been sanding stuff really. But I have got the brackets. I'll show you what I've got done. Ta-da! I haven't got all the brackets yet. I still need the roof hinge, but apart from that, I've got the front bracket, back bracket, which means I can stick all the panels on. I've been sanding all the seams. There's a couple left to do, not much. Edges, back of the bonnet, up in here, seams around here, right across the back, there, along here, this bit here. So that's basically what I've been doing. Just sanding all the seams really. They're all over the place, and some of them will need a bit of filler and that, but not bad. Still haven't got this door card on. First time that side skirt's been fitted up. Bumper needs moved back a little bit. Just needs a little trim. So yeah, I think I'm losing track of hours. I think we were at 15, and so today that's another 5 hours. So we're at 20 hours, and the car's looking like this. Still a lot to do, obviously, but this is one of the stages that you get to and you're like, yeah, I can see what I'm doing now, I can see where I'm going. So, yeah, 20 hours in, well happy. Okay, fitting door skins. Now then, I'm going to remake the moulds for these door skins, but for now this is what we're working with. If these are the ones that you get in your kit, then this is what you've got to do. So, we need it to, that side skirt is bolted up, and in fact I'm gonna it's sitting all right with the clamp. It's sitting okay with the clamp. The clamp is just sat on, but the height's about right there. We can make slight adjustments with the grinder there. It's sitting a little bit low there, but it's sitting level with the top of the door, so that's pretty much right. Now what I need it to do, see how it can sit in like that. You don't want to fit it like that. That's going to pull in a little bit maybe. So what I'm going to do is I'll fire a tech screw. And it catches at the minute until everything's trimmed up. It's a little bit tricky. There's my jugger. So my height's all right here, but I just want to pull it in a touch. It'll just go in a little bit, but I could maybe clean out in the back a little bit there. Just get it to go a bit closer, but for now, I'm just going to fire a tech screw in there. And that'll pull it into where it's going to sit when it's all fitted up properly. You want to make sure your door's shut properly and everything's sitting down in place. The roof isn't fixed, but that's sitting level with that. The hinge will pull that into place and it's pretty much lining up. That needs to come down a little touch, which it will once it's hinged up. So that's pretty much in line with that now. The side skirt needs to come down a little bit at the front, but the line-up's all right. But I need it to come out a touch. So if I put a bit of pressure under there, it buckles it out the way, which is what I want it to do. So that's sitting pretty good there. Slightly high, and that's sitting slightly high. But within tolerances we can make this work, because I can move the side skirt up and down. You can't so much move the door. Well, you can move the door up and down, but you want the door to shut properly. So there's little marks on these where I've had clecos in before. So all you got to do with these, so I've got that pressured up so it's coming up and out like that. And get a cleco. There we go, that holds that out. So now you can see door's sitting good, slight tweak on that, everything's lined up. There's another mark there, so we'll drill that one as well. Now at the front, doesn't really need to go too far in. Again, everything's moving a little bit at the minute, but so that's sitting about right there. So what we'll do is we'll drill that there. Oh no, it doesn't feel like we've got a good... You need a bit of meat in behind it, so that's not a good hole position. Feels about there. I'm using a very short drill because I snapped it. So the chances are the door skins you get won't be these, but what I need to do is take a mould of it on the car like that, so it's got the natural curve in it, and then it should just set itself naturally. Just going to go and check the other side. The bottom just kicks in like that, and that needs to go down a little bit at the front. I'm just going to check that we're about lined up there. You want to be lined up at the top of the door there. That needs to go down. There we go. So I push on that, everything falls into place pretty much. I'll just check this side sitting about right. Here it is. Okay, so that door card's now in place, so when I take that off, I'm going to bond in behind it. Might put another cleco there just to hold it down. And you do have a little bit of filler work to do, because where the clecos go, it causes a little bit of warpage. So you'll get a low spot where I don't have any more clecos. You get a low spot where it's holding it down. That's actually not sitting too bad. I could probably get away with taping that down. So anyway, that cleco there is holding that panel out to meet that. So as long as you're out the same distance, and you can put some packers in behind it as well, just to make sure it's held in place. But every time you put that cleco in, it's going to put that pressure on it and push that out to the right position. So now those fitting onto the car in the right position. There's still work to do on them. There's the bottom edge to sort out and stuff, but that's where it needs to be on the door and, you know, the outward position as well. What you don't want to do is bond this on, and I've done this, and stick a few tins of paint on it or whatever to hold it down so it sticks. And I bonded it there as well, and that was a big mistake, because it doesn't want to be bonded there. There is a little bit of movement in that, so it doesn't want to be contacting it. It contacts there, but not there in the middle. So you've got like a raised bit on the door along the bottom where you're going to bond it, and across the top and then round the edges. So that one's ready to go. The other one's ready to go. Needs another, could do with another cleco in it, but it's all right. I know you can't see what I'm doing there. The front sits right, like it's not an issue at the front. It's just the back that you need to get right. So now I'm going to take these doors off, and then I can get those on the bench, and I can start working on them like that. I don't need to worry about lining anything up anymore. It'll always go back in place when those clecos are in place. Right, so we need to get this panel off, pry that up, just on clips. The car's still full of Jonathan's stuff. It looks like something's been eating this envelope. I don't know whether it's been I don't know what it's been. Might be some mice in here. Anyway, need to get this kick plate off here. There's a Phillips screw down in the bottom corner that looks like it hasn't been screwed back in because it's halfway out. There we go. Oh, it's a clip. Okay, so that's that off. Well, that should, I don't even know what that was, just come off like that. Now then, hang on, let's get you off there, spin you around. Okay, so you've got all this going on in there. So there's two. There's that one there and that one there. I need to unplug just like that, and I'll try and do this. Can't get my finger in the back there. There we go. So that's them off, and we've got a cable tie there that we need to cut as well. I'll have to go and get some snips, hang on. Right, that's those loose. You've got a 10mm here on the door stay. It's got a Phillips head in it as well, so you can use the Phillips if you want. Okay. Now we're going to shut the door, I'll get my torch because otherwise I'll lose it. I've took the side skirts off just so that they're not in the way. I can actually take that door card off now, and I think the 14s that hold the door on. But first you want to pull this out in here and feed your wires out, and they'll snag on shit. I'm going to need 2 hands. They'll catch on stuff as they're coming out, but you'll get them right. I'm going to take this door card, door skin. I guess we always call the internal part the door card, don't we? So let's get the Cleco tool and we'll get that door card, door skin. I really need to get into the habit of calling it a skin. Cleco out, and the last one. There we go. As easy as that. Right, now then. They're a bit like grappling hooks, them connectors, but this is the easier way to do it. If you do it the other way, which would be essentially strip it out from the back of the door, there's just a lot more work. This is easier to take to bits and put back together. $14mm on an extension so that you can clear the door. You don't need an extension that long, but you'll see we're not using a huge amount of tools. There's only certain tools that you need for this. I'm not massively well equipped with tools, and what you want to do here is make sure that the door's shut, because the catch will hold it at the back so it's not going to fall off. And then we'll undo these now and keeping my leg against the door. Jesus, that's tight. Whew. Crack that one up as well. Right, so I'm now leaning on the door so it can't fall out of its hole, sort of thing. Those bolts are different. That's like I think that's an M10 and those are M8s, something like that. Maybe an M12 and M10s. Either way, I can take these bolts right out. You see the doors drop down a little bit there, but it won't fall as long as you keep leaning on it. You want to get it there where your mirror goes, and then you just reach in, undo it, and lift it off. And obviously the same process going backwards. You just hold it on, clip it onto the catch, come to the front, line it up, get your bolts in, bish bash bosh, you're sorted. Right, I'm going to take the other one off. Just realised I forgot to do a time check. I got here at 2 o'clock, waited for Paul coming, the delivery guy. He's delivered a new kit. So, and then I went over to Jonathan's to get him to have a look at a bit of my lathe that I broke last night. So he's going to sort that out for us. So it's fair to say I didn't start till at least 3 o'clock. It's probably a bit after, to be fair. But let's just say 3. It's 20 past 4 now, so. Right. I'll take this door skin off. I've got the wires disconnected. It was a blue and a grey one on this side. Sorry, an orange and a grey one on this side. It's orange and blue on the passenger side. I need to get my wire off and my bolts off. I'll take that skin off first. Yeah, so when I get these new door skins made, shouldn't have the, well, to be honest, you shouldn't even have to use Clecos. It should just sit on, which will reduce the amount of bodywork that ultimately you have to do as well. Because then you won't have the holes to fill in the little indentations. 10mm. Take off the door catch. Now, one thing that you need to be careful of, especially when you've got the door skins on and you're putting things back together, if that door opens all the way, the corner of the kit door, the skin, will hit on there. So we actually, like there's in the 3D printed part of the kit, there's a little stopper that stops the door opening quite fully, because that front corner will hit that fully open. But if you haven't got your door stay on, it'll smash the front corner straight off, so you've got to be careful of that one. Right, doors shut. I've already loosened these. You'll feel the door drop down a little bit, but it can't go anywhere. Again, just move backwards, keeping it pressed in. Unlock your door catch, and off she comes. This is my extremely frustrated face on a dirty lens. So much just flew in my mouth. Right, I'm at this stage. So I've got the doors on the trestles. I've taped along the window rubber because we're bonding up to that but not over it. And I don't want to scratch it, so taped over it to protect it from sealer and scratches. And then I've hit that with a bit of 80 on the contact points across the top there and along there, both doors. And then I went to get my silicone gun, sealer gun for this stuff here. It's essentially Tiger Seal. It's not Tiger Seal, but it's essentially Tiger Seal. That's what I used to do the doors. And I can't find the gun. I have spent about an hour looking for the damn thing. The only thing that I can think of is I think the last time I had it, I'd let my mate use it. He was working on his car, on his van out the back. To be honest with you, it's the last time I've seen it. So I can only presume that he's put it in his toolbox or something, because I have looked everywhere multiple times. My head's twatted with walking around the place. And then I went over to Jonathan's to see if I thought I'll just borrow his, and I can't find his either. He doesn't use it very often, so it gets disappeared, I guess. But mine's normally kicking about. So anyway, it's 6 o'clock. There's nothing I can do really. I'm gonna have to get a new one. I could cut a tube open and just paste it on with a filler card, but it's not really the way to do it. So yeah, that's me for the day, and like I say, I've wasted an hour. So 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, so 3 hours messing on with the doors really. 23 hours then. 23 hours, I think that's where we're at. And that's me for the day. I think I will be here tomorrow afternoon, so I'll get one on the way out here and get the doors fitted. It's a pain in the arse because the way I've been doing it, I could probably get away with doing both sides, but what I was gonna do was not pin that side down like the far side. I was just gonna seal this and just lift that up at the back a bit. Just takes a bit of the flex off it, you know, because I'm having to flex it. And the flex is sort of lifting it up here at the edge. So what I wanted to do was bond it along this side tonight before I go, and then tomorrow I can come and get that side down, bond that, and then do the other side. But when you do the other side, there's the little panel on the back to do here. So it's like a 2-day sort of thing, really. Do the front first, and then do the back, and obviously then you seal all the way around the edges and stuff. But yeah, all of this needs rust treated as well. All needs sealed up, all these cut edges, your drilled holes and stuff like that. Just in the car setting off back, but I'm going to correct myself before I forget. I didn't get started till, I got there at 2, but I didn't get started till 3 because I was over at Jonathan's, wasn't I? So, and then spent an hour looking for the thing, so it's actually only 2 hours, 22 hours in. Right, I've now got a silicone gun from the shop, and I've got the Tiger Seal, the sealer, in a tub of hot water just to soften it a little bit, because the silicone gun that I've got is just a hobby one sort of thing, and it does take a bit of pressure. And then what I've done is I've switched out the Clecos for screws, and I've put some extra ones in along this top because I don't want it buckling out. It needs to be down. Now what it'll do is it'll create probably little indentations along here, but they're easy to fix. You just, you know, fill them and give it a quick sand and it'll be sorted. But having it sticking out is a major problem, so I've switched it all for screws. Right, we've got the tape along there just in case we get any mess going on. I'm going to take these panels off again now. It's all cleaned off with thinners underneath and sanded, and once I get these out we'll be ready to put the sealer on and get these attached. Right, so I'll show you on this one. We want a nice bead of sealer right across the top, not totally up to the edge but close to it. There's like a lip that you can just run along because there's a little seam. So you want that right across the top because it's, you know, we want to be sealing it from any weather getting in. And then I'm just going to give it put a bit around the screw there. Avoiding your screw holes. I'm going to go around here. Just like that. And then I'm running over this crest. Like so. Now if you think that this isn't very strong, you'd be wrong, because I said I messed one up and I didn't have it positioned right, wasn't far enough out, and I had to take them off and relocate it. Oh my God, what a mission. You don't want to totally crank them down, you just want them down. That little trick warming the sealer up certainly made it a lot easier to apply. I'm not finding my hole, which will now be a right pain in the ass. Let's just screw that in. Now that it's in, I'll maybe re-drill that. Where is it? Looks like it's slightly over there. No, it's there. There we go. Now then this one will need pushed up. What you can do is pull it there, and that should get you where it needs to go. Okay, one down, one to go. So what I'm going to do with these doors is I'm not going to send anybody these door panels. I'm just going to take a mould of these once I've got them done, once I've got them right. So any that go out after this one will be the perfectly formed ones that they'll fit a lot better, it'll be a lot less work. You can see how the screws like create little dips in it, so that's all to fill. Put an extra one at the front there as well, just to hold the fronts in. So yeah, I'll bodywork these, get them all smooth and straight, and then I'll take a mould off them, and that'll be the part that we supply. So literally everything that I've just shown you there doesn't count, or a bit of it does, but you know what I mean. So I'm just gonna, I've been making some fiberglass bits as well, so I've been on them for about an hour. There's the back parts that go on the door, I didn't have them, so I've made those and some pieces of angle as well, because that goes across the bottom. So I got here at about 2:30, I think. No, it was 2 o'clock. I was here at 2. It's now coming up 5 o'clock, but I've been messing on for the last hour with the making parts. So let's say 4. So I've got 2 hours in them doors, but obviously it'll be easier to fit them when we sort that one out. Right, I'm just going round with this. Where is it at? You see that? Little, there you go. It's a woodworking tool, really, like a little sort of, I don't know what you call it, like a little burr. Got a set of them, there's like cones and whatnot, but this one's really good for getting in the corners of the vents and just shaping them up. I'm now going to get the power file and I'm just going to clean them up, and I'm going to clean the headlight holes up as well. So with that rotary tool I've done all the corners, because I don't want a totally square corner in them. Obviously these aren't square, but those come almost square, but I don't want them to be, you know, a right angle corner, so there's still a lip to take off. So I've just went into the corners with the lip, with the tool, and took those lips off in the corners in a round fashion. Always wear gloves when you're working with the fiberglass and grinding it or whatever, cutting it, because it's a bit unpleasant. You just get that close, you've got to go in and block it anyway. You're going to have some little scratch marks off the belt. Now I'm out of 80 grit, so this is a 60 grit. It's a little bit rough, but So I'll be going back into them with a bit of 80 grit just to straighten them out on the block. Might even use 180. There's not a lot of lip there now, just a tiny bit. Get a bit of scratches out on that, but that's them nearly there. As far as shape's concerned, all the lips gone. See what I'm doing? I'm sure you can guess what I'm doing. Now you do need these off as much as possible. You can't see this edge behind the light, but if you don't have that lip right off, it's hard to adjust the headlight.
it kind of catches, there's not a lot of room. So the next thing after this is I'll be putting the bezels on the back, the mountings on the back, so and then there'll be a bit of tidying up to do in there and a little bit of filler and stuff, so doesn't matter if you go a little bit too far even, because you're going to be filling around there anyway.
Alright, that's all the vent edges tidied up. Obviously I'll be going in with the sanding block to finish them off, but all the lips are off anyway and ready to finish. It's 6 o'clock. What are we saying? Here at 2, knock an hour off, so 3. So 3 hours. Oh, the headlights are done as well, and I've done around the vents. Again, still a tiny little bit to get off, but I'll do that with the sandpaper. So what's that? 20. I'm gonna have to write this down. I'm gonna put a thing on the wall, like a bit of paper on the wall, and start writing it down. But I think I was at like 22 hours, so that takes us to 25 hours, somewhere around about there. Anyway, cubes. So put timing up on the screen, cubes, so that we can keep a track, please.